What childhood fact from your parents turned out to be the biggest lie of your life? Mine was 7 words. Your sister ran away and hates us. I was 9 in 2004 when my sister Talia, 17, vanished from our house while I was at a sleepover. My father sat me down at the kitchen table and explained, gently, that she'd run off with a boyfriend, that she'd said terrible things about our family on the way out, and that looking for her would only reward her cruelty. I cried into my cereal for weeks. She was my favorite person on earth. She used to let me sleep on her floor during thunderstorms and narrate cartoons in different voices until I laughed myself sick. Even at 9, pieces didn't fit. Her college acceptance letter arrived that spring, and Dad said he'd forward it to her. She'd left her sketchbooks, and she would never have left her sketchbooks. Within 2 weeks, Dad had repainted her room beige and given her things to charity, so your mother doesn't have to look at them. Mom cried in the garage for a year and believed every word he said, because why wouldn't she? The story hardened into family fact. Talia was ungrateful. Talia broke Mom's heart. We don't say her name at dinner. 16 years later, I was working the pharmacy counter when a woman my sister's age did a double take at my name tag. It was Priya, Talia's best friend from high school. I asked casually as I could manage if she'd ever heard from my sister after she ran off. Priya's face did something complicated. Ran off, she said. Honey, she wrote to you. For years. She used to cry to me on the phone asking why her little sister never once wrote back. She figured your dad had turned you against her. Eventually it hurt too much and she stopped. I had to grip the counter. I'd never received a single letter. Not one. In 16 years. I drove to my parents' house that Sunday like nothing was wrong. And while Dad watched football, I went up to the attic because I'd remembered something. Years ago, I'd seen him carry a banker's box up there. And when I'd offered to help, he'd snapped at me in a way that didn't match the moment. It took 40 minutes. The box was labeled Taxes 1998. Inside were letters. Dozens and dozens of letters. Rubber banded by year, addressed to me in Talia's looping handwriting. Every envelope slid open and read. Postmarks from Tucson, then Portland, then a little town in Michigan. Birthday cards for a little sister turning 10, 11, 12, 13, a pressed flower in one. Photos of her in a diner uniform, then in front of a community college banner, then holding a baby. A baby. I have a nephew. And beneath the letters, one envelope in different handwriting. Hers but shaky. Addressed to Mom, unopened, marked in my father's block letters. No. I sat on the attic floor and read for 2 hours. The whole story was in there. She hadn't run away from us. She'd fled him. The version of him only she ever saw. The rages he saved for her. The night things finally tipped and she got in Priya's cousin's car with a duffel bag. She wrote that she'd waited at the bus station the next morning for 2 hours because she'd left a note asking Mom to bring me and come with her. Mom never got the note. Mom got a story about a boyfriend and hateful parting words, invented over a kitchen table while I cried into my cereal. I didn't confront him that day. I did something better. I took the box. I found her in 9 days. She's in Michigan. She teaches art at a middle school. When she answered the phone and I said, "It's me," there was a silence so long I thought the call had dropped, and then a sound I will hear for the rest of my life. The first thing she asked was, "Did Mom know?" "No," I said. "She's about to." I drove Mom up there myself the following weekend with the banker's box on her lap. She read letters at every rest stop and aged backward and forward at once. When Talia opened her front door, my mother made the same sound my sister had made on the phone. My nephew is 8. He has her exact laugh. He calls me the uncle who came from a story. Dad still doesn't know how it all unraveled. He knows Mom left and that his calls go unanswered and that the box of taxes from 1998 is missing. 16 Christmases he stole, one envelope at a time, and the whole time he tucked us in and made pancakes on Saturdays. We got him back the only way that matters. We're spending the 17th together.